Okay, so what I want to do now, I want to get some bones in my lizard. I'm just going to go to the right view, and I also want to make sure he's standing on the ground. So I'm just going to make sure that we're up here. Okay, that's good enough. I'm just going to kill my history, freeze my transformations. Okay, great. And let's just give that a name. Okay, great. So I'm going to show a couple different ways of putting this together. The first way, I'll keep it really simple. I'm just going to go and put the X-ray joints on. And so maybe I don't want to have like a fancy spine in here. I could just go for a, kind of a simple one. I'm just going to flip over into animation. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab myself a joint tool. And I'm not going to really worry about anything on the joint tool. Got X-ray joints on, so you'll see my center of gravity should be someplace right around here, I figure. Display, animation, and I'm going to go here to joint size, make my joints a bit smaller. Okay, and I can put some, I usually don't go right along the back. I like kind of in the middle, favoring the back a little bit. I find that deforms the stomach better. And here we'll get up to about here. And right here's the base of the head, and I want a joint here for moving the skull around. Sometimes I find it's a bit more to your advantage to have it in a little bit. It's a little bit more forgiving if it's in. Definitely not too far back. It looks kind of weird. We'll say there. And I'm going to put one over here to the nose. You don't necessarily need this one in here, but I do it anyway. And I'm going to hit up arrow, and that goes back to this one. And I want to put in a jaw. I'm going to say my jaw is going to be here-ish. Okay, it doesn't matter where I put this other joint. Sometimes I find that if I'm using the method of heat map for weighting, this might be a problem if the joint goes through, but whatever. This is the important joint right here. Okay, I'm going to hit my up arrows till I go back this way. Okay, and now I'm just going to start working my way back here. So I'm going to have one for maybe less the hips, and then this is going to be my tail one. And for the tail, I'm going to try to space them relatively evenly across here. I don't want to put in one for every vertebrae. It just seems like it's going to be a lot of work. I could, but it's going to be a bit more work. So there we go. Let's see, going ahead, and I'm just going to stop for a second there. Great, so I got all those joints in place. Okay. And then I want to get in some joints here for the leg. What I'm going to do now for the leg, you can actually do this in two places. There's a little snapping thing right up here. See, this one here. Boop. That snaps the center. You'll also see on the joint tool, there's a little option here, projected center. When you click on this, it turns on in here. Yay! Okay, so I want some kind of shoulder here. My elbow is going to be here-ish, and my reptile wrist tile. Anyway, and also I always like to have this kind of palm joint in that I usually parent all my fingers to, or in this case, toes. And I think each one of these things has 3 toes. I'm just going to quickly go in here, and I could spend some time lining this up better, but I'm not. Just going to go to display again, animation, joint size. There. Boop. And I'll just hit my up arrow until I get to that palm joint, and I'm going to put one right here at the base of this. Okay, and up arrow. And I got to move this thing. These aren't perfectly lined up, but I'll just live with it. And one more over here. Actually, I can't remember if I was looking and I noticed this one here has just 2 or something like that. Anyway, there's that. I might want some kind of clavicly kind of joint here too. Maybe what I'll do is just zip here to the right view for a second, get my joint tool, pop another joint in, and I'm just going to move this one here and down. I usually like this kind of joint really tight to the spine. I find it works better. Okay, grab this, grab that, and parent! And then this one here, we'll parent that in. Yay! And I'm just going to do the same thing in the back here. So if I get my joint tool, got projected centers on. And we're zipping my way down here, doing exactly the same thing again. And okay, boop, boop, boop. Okay, and I guess that's good. Good enough. For this one here, we've kind of got a different situation. So this one I'm going to parent to that bone right there. It depends on my mood. Okay, right here, I like to have a separate root joint from my hip joint. If I go in and I rotate this thing around, I can have a little bit of independent hip movement if I do it like that, as opposed to some people will put this right directly to the root. And now the next thing I want to do is name all these things. I don't know if I want to have this on the video. Well, whatever, we'll just do it. So let's get my hypergraph out. And let's see, what do we got? Okay, so the first one, call that root. Actually, I just realized I always like to have capitals in here. Okay, great. And then this one, this one, this one, this one. Okay, got all those selected at once. If I go over here to quick rename, whoop, and we call those back. Okay. And this one here, I feel like I should almost have more in the neck, but whatever, I'll just call that one neck. And this one, head. And that one there is going to be head tip. And that's your jaw. And then, whoop, jaw, tip. And I was just hitting the down arrow to get to that last one there. Okay, and then all these ones in the tail, actually I might just call that one like, I guess these are kind of like the tail. Let's see, all these ones right down here. Tail. Okay, and I've got to go and grab this and pop! Okay, so I just did the quick rename trick, and now I got to move my way into leg here. And what else is causing me problems now? Okay, well, we'll deal with that afterwards. This is interesting. So I've got this. Just hold on a second. Okay. So my music just started skipping all over the place, and I didn't know what that was. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this, and we'll call this clavicle. And what do we got here? This one here is going to be my... I'm going to call it my shoulder. There's probably a better name for this, but whatever. I'm just going to do it like this. And where are we here? Elbow. Okay, and then when I get into these fingers, I'm just going to do these really quick. So this one here, we should probably sort the order around a little bit. This one is down here, so if I was sneaky and I hold down control and I middle click, I can move this without moving its children, so now it's sitting at the top. And then this one's next. Holding down control, middle clicking, dragging. This one third, fourth, and fifth. Okay, great. And I'm just going to call that, we'll call this like finger 1. Boop. Finger 2. And finger 4. And finally, finger number 5. Great. So those are all named. And I'm also just going to take this whole thing and, well, that's the clavicle, and I'm going to go in here to modify prefix hierarchy names, and right there, and I put in a capital L underscore. Great. So now we got L clavicle, L all the way down, L shoulder, L elbow, L wrist. And then I'm going to go to skeleton, and I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to use mirror joint. Mirror joint, I want to go and make sure it's flipping across in this case here. YZ, search for capital L underscore, and replace with capital R underscore. And I think I accidentally hit something else. There we go. And now when I hit apply, I get it to the other side. It's all named. Yay! And I'll do the same thing back here. Grab this joint. And let's go and quickly rename all these things here. So this one here is going to be my hip. By the way, actually that joint right there shouldn't really be called tail 1. It should be called like pelvis or something like that, but I'm going to leave it. Hip and hip, and then what we got our knee. Great. And that's going to be my ankle. And maybe this one here, I'm just going to, instead of, actually, how am I getting 2 selected? That's really weird. Anyway, this joint right here, I'm just going to call that ball of the foot. And again, I'll take a look at these joints here. What's this one? Now, I've got something that's been turned off, so I can select multiple joints all at once. I don't like that. Okay, whatever. Anyway, what have I got? This one here is at the bottom, so if I hold down control, middle click, boop. This one, probably this one right here. So I'm going to control middle click to here, switches the order. Now that's in the middle, there, and there. Now they're all in order. And so if I grab them, and we'll call this like toe 1. And that's going to be toe 2. And that will be toe 3. And this one here will be toe 4. Keep thinking there's going to be some kind of funny pun that's going to come up in here, but I can't find it yet. Toe 5, toe 5. Okay, great. So they're all named. And I'll just grab my hip, and I'm going to go down here to modify. And we will go in here to prefix hierarchy names, put a capital L underscore, ba-boom. And then I go over here to skeleton, and I go to mirror joint, and I've already got all the settings, so I just have to hit that, and ba-boom, I've got all my joints I need. Okay, so this is probably a good time to save, and I'm going to stop the video!